I was on mute. I think it pisses God off when you walk by the color purple in the field and don't notice it. Okay? If you have seen the movie, the original, if you have read the book, and if you have watched the adaptation of The Color Purple, you are in the right place today. I am Queen Cole, and I will be your host, your moderator today for this Transparency Talk presented by the I Am Academy. It's that Transparent Talks, and what all Transparent Talks are is a group of us come together. We may have different perspectives, but we want to hear and share and enjoy each other's perspective. And so today you are in the right place because we are talking about the color purple. And I'm so excited about this. I'm hyped. I'm going to try to stay as calm as I can, not be hollering and get it all off topic. So help me welcome the panel, members of the I Am Academy. Hey.
Hey. Hey.
Hello. We got Kai. We got Renisha. What happened? We lost. We lost Deshawn. She'll come back. Oh, there she go. All right, we got you. You're here. How are y'all?
Good.
I'm doing well.
Good. Well, I want to start off. Okay, we're just gonna go around. So, Kai, you right next to me on the screen. Deshawn, you down here, and then Renisha. So we'll go in that order, unless it flip, because it can flip if I bring somebody on solo. So don't be like, what happened? But I want to know, how many times did you see it, and who did you go with? I want to know all the things when you went.
Okay. So hi everybody. I actually went December 9th. I went with a group of individuals that I'm a part of. They're called Circle of Friends. So we actually had the entire theater to ourselves, and I brought one of my really good friends with me. Yeah, so that's who I went with, and that's when I went, and I seen it one time right now.
Right. So I was supposed to see it 3 times. I actually only got to see it one time. So I had to cancel my other shows because my grandpa got sick. So I don't have all the notes that I wish that I had, but I'm still excited to have the conversation.
And I saw it once on Christmas Day with my nieces and my sister.
Okay, that's beautiful. I went by myself. I was going to go with my daughter. We had made plans, and then for whatever reason, the plans didn't go through. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to go by myself. And that is something that I had to learn. And this is a whole nother topic and conversation, is doing things alone, right? Eating, not just getting my food and leave it, or not playing busy on my phone, like doing something alone. And so, I was able to do that. And it was a good time. I had a good time. I felt good. I didn't feel like, ooh, I'm awkward. I'm by myself. I enjoyed myself. I had my popcorn. I had my stuff. So it was really good. So that's how I went. And so, hey, Jazz. Hey, we got people tuning in, watching. Okay, so I want to fast forward. So I got my little notes here to sort of keep me on track. Okay, let's see. So this is for everybody. Did you know it was a musical?
Yes.
I really didn't pay attention to that part. I mean, I love that part of the movie, but it wasn't a musical that attracted me to go see it. It was just because it was The Color Purple. So that was like a surprise addition for me.
Okay. Jazz is watching. She said yes. And the reason why I'm asking that, because I was seeing people posting saying, I did not know it was going to be all of this. And I'm like, you did? I was sort of shocked, like, and people were disappointed, actually. That's why I'm bringing this up. They were disappointed that it was a musical. And I'm like, but it was on Broadway. You know
I
what
was
I'm
going to
saying?
say, well, it was based off the Broadway show, which was a musical. So it just makes sense that it was.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. I think they were going all the way back. And so I was like, no, that was a little distorted. But okay. So everybody knew it was that. So, Did anybody read the book? Did anybody read the book?
I did not.
No, I have the book, but I haven't started it yet.
Yeah. So I was probably I was young when it came out. And so I think me and one of my friends, like we snuck and read like a couple of chapters because, we were young. I wasn't a little kid, but I wasn't old enough to go and say, hey, I want to read a Alice Walker book. So I think we like snuck and read like some of the chapters, but never read the book cover to cover.
Mhm.
And not enough to say, oh, I remember that in the book, but I definitely remember certain parts from the book, which we'll get to.
Okay. Okay. And so after the movie, I was all hyped and I was like, oh, I'm about to go read the book. And so I did the sample. And when I did the sample, I was like, I don't want to read this. It didn't give me the good feel that the adaptation, the last one, did. And so I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the original and this one. What were your compare and contrast, or did you just take it for what it was?
I definitely compared and contrast. You know, for me, the original was okay. I do like the new rendition better. I really do. Because it went into the mysteries that the first one left for you. The first one left you to gather your own perception, to kind of think about what happened. And then I've heard about, individuals who read the book. When you think about the book, they go into, oh yeah, they had a relationship, that type of thing. And then when you see this one, it's like, they added a little bit more so you can kind of, you don't have, you're not left to the imagination. So I actually loved it.
I love how all of the scenes that we were wanting to see, they kept all of those. So when if we were in the theater, everybody was like screaming and like yes, they. But I like the new one a lot better too, because I feel like we're living in a day and time where women are really living, and we got to see Celie really live. So I love the new one. Yeah.
I probably need to see the new one a couple of more times to make a call on it, just because I just remember being like young, and of course we had VCRs back then, and no DVD players, no online streaming, just the VCRs, and so I just remember us like putting that tape in and just watching it over and over, especially like that Thanksgiving scene. Like, so there are a lot of parts of the older movie that I kind of correlate with my upbringing as far as fun times or things that we did. Whereas the new one, I enjoyed it, but I look at it a little different. So I probably could look at it a couple more times and then kind of make that decision. Like, yeah, I kind of like, I like this one a little bit, but not yet. Not after one time. I can't make that call.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And I guess I failed to say too in the introduction, if you're watching this and you haven't watched the movie, there may be spoilers. So don't fight us and don't come canceling the I Am Academy. We just talking about so how did you think that the new movie handled the sensitive themes and issues portrayed in the novel, such as racism, sexism, and sexual abuse? Did you think the movie effectively conveyed the emotional impact of these topics? Do you think that they covered it as well?
I think yes and no. I think a surface level, yes. I think for surface level, I do think they captured what need to be captured to kind of, they couldn't, I guess, duplicate identical to the movie and things like that. It had to be bits and pieces in there, plagiarism type stuff. That's what I say. But, I think they did kind of capture a little bit of, the racism and um, in it just enough to give you, just enough. They did it just enough for you. They didn't go in detail, but they just gave you just enough so you could understand the day and time and that, that The Color Purple was in.
She said it perfectly. I think just enough as well because Sophia still went to prison for 6 years. Like nothing happened with that. No, those people that did that to her didn't have to pay or anything. They just did it. And, I know that's how it was in that time, but they just kind of touched on it a little bit, made us mad. That's it.
I think that part was smart for the producers and the directors because it's like when we watched it before, even though it was a small part, it was big. So we knew that she went to jail. We knew that she got into that confrontation. We knew what happened when the lady came to dinner with her, with her family. And even though that's still important and something we deal with, that's not as big of an issue today as same-sex relationships. So it's like they didn't change what they talked on, but they put the spotlight on relevant issues for today versus, I'm not saying that that's not important. So y'all don't beat us up at I Am Academy. I'm just saying that was smart. That was, to me, that was a very smart to keep it relevant for today. And I thought that part was good, but I do think that they touched on them, like Kai said, they touched on the surface without getting too deep on issues, but they still make sure that you knew, hey, this is still an issue, but this is what we're gonna, put the spotlight on.
Yes. Now, Jazz says that the first one focused a little on Celie and a little on Suge. The second focused on Celie's story and gave her an empowered ending. And I totally agree with that. And how I felt like they did enough, just like y'all are saying. And also I felt it was more entertaining this time. So the first one made you sad and mad. Like I'm ready to square up. But
for years we didn't like Mister. For years.
And this one, and I mean, I'm saying it in the most gentlest way. He was a little more nice, a little bit. I was mad, but I wasn't quite fighting mad. The first Mister, I think, was just he was mean. I didn't feel like this one was as mean. So since we're talking about the characters, let's talk about casting. How did y'all feel about the casting? And did you have a favorite, somebody that stuck out besides, the main character? I mean, what character stuck out the most for you?
I would say Danielle Brooks. Danielle Brooks really stood out to me. I loved she really embraced the character of Sophia. And I just loved everything. I loved everything. I mean, I liked her already, the Orange New Black and things she's played in before, but this character right here really encompassed who she is, and just made her be in the spotlight more because she was just amazing. She was really amazing. So for me, it was Danielle Brooks.
It was Danielle Brooks for me as well because with her, I saw Sophia. I feel like with Celie, I saw Fantasia the entire time. But with Danielle Brooks, like I saw Sophia. Like she said, she really got into character and she was serious about that role. She did awesome.
I didn't know her name. So I don't watch TV, so I didn't know the Orange is the New Black. I didn't know. So I had to be schooled. She was awesome. Like she stuck out to me the most, more than Taraji, more than Fantasia, she owned that role. Mm-hmm. Like even her, like the dance and the performance when she was talking, she was Sophia. Like that was to me, that was a perfect pick. I agree. She stood out to me the most, more than anybody did.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Kai. My bad.
Is that, with Danielle, when you go and read, because listen to a lot of their interviews, all their interviews I listened to and things like that. And I was really excited that, Corey Hawkins and her, went to the same school, dance school and theater school, that he actually went and said, I'm gonna be playing this part. I need Danielle Brooks to play Sophia. I need her to play Sophia. And that right there really stood out to me, is because we're bringing our own up with us. We helping our own and bringing them up with us. And I just love that he did that. And he was not going to have it any other way, but he stood on that. And I just love that.
Yes, that made my heart happy as well because I, like you, Kai, I was also deep diving into all the interviews and everything else that I could. And so when I saw that, I thought that was a beautiful thing, especially in the whole. I think last year or the last couple years, it's been this whole, guys versus girls, and we're Black women, so I'm just gonna say, Black guys against, Black, we're all against each other. When he actually like brought her up like that, you really giving me a good play here, you know what I mean? Not saying, anything else, like standing on it. I thought that was beautiful, and I think that Sophia, she stole the show for me. I was leaving the theater saying, hell no. I mean, hell, I was just saying it for no reason. I mean, and I don't necessarily cuss, right? I mean, I try to do as least cussing out, but I'm just leaving the theater like, nah, hell no.
I've been listening to the soundtrack.
Queen, can you? No, hell no. And I was saying it, with my chest. I'm like Sophia now, okay? I think she stole the show for me. For me, she stole the show. So I'm glad that y'all said that. Jazz, let's see what Jazz says. Danielle Brooks as Sophia and Dean Cole as their dad as a comedian. I've never seen him in a serious role. It expanded his acting chops. Okay, yes. And when I read the sample of the book, okay, I did not realize, and I want to ask y'all this, is there anything y'all didn't realize from before that you realized this time? Because what I didn't realize at the very beginning, I guess I had just missed it, was I didn't realize that Celie was having the kids from her daddy. I was like, so when I listened to the sample, he said, you're going to do what your mom won't do. I was like, what? And so it didn't click to me to after I didn't watch the movie. I listened to the sample, and then I heard that. And then I remember when Nettie came to Celie after she got married to Mr. saying, Dad tried, Pop tried to touch. And I was like, wait a minute. So anyway, is there anything that y'all didn't realize until, later on, or anything that came back up after the fact?
No, nothing that I didn't realize, but I want to go back to Sophia because my favorite scene for her was when Harpo was introducing her to Mr. And she said, I came here to give respect, but if ain't nothing to get, I ain't got nothing to give. I think that part, that was like one of my favorite parts for her. She was really good. Like, I don't know. I know Fantasia and Taraji, like I said, were like two of the, headliners, but she owned her whole part in that. And it's almost like a lot more of the storyline, or maybe just I paid attention more, was around her than so much the other characters. So
I agree with you on that because I feel like Sophia, she took the women empowerment to another level. You felt it with her, you seen it with her, and not saying less of Taraji and Fantasia, but it's almost like they were kind of laid back with their empowerment, where Sophia was like, this is mine, I'm a woman, and I'm gonna get what's mine, and you're not gonna push me down just because I'm a woman, and she made you feel that.
Okay, so in the original movie, remember when she went to Oprah, to Sophia, when Sophia went to Celie, and she was like, you told Harpo to hit me. And that kind of was like the end of that scene. Whereas in the new movie, it was like, you told Harpo to beat me, but let me tell you why he not, and why I'm not going to put up with it, and why you shouldn't. And so it expounded more. It was more of a, you told my husband to beat me, but let me tell you why this is not going to work. Whereas in the original, you didn't get that. It was like, you told Harpo to beat me. He tried to beat me. I punched him in the eye, and that was the end. But in the newer movie, they were able to build on that a little bit more. I appreciate that as well.
I think the only thing that I didn't realize was Squeak and Harpo they were a thing, right? I didn't realize that until this one. So I think that's the only thing. Everything else I feel like I knew. Yeah.
Yeah, and Squeak was cute because I had forgot about Squeak, okay?
No, I love Tyra. My name is what she say, Mary Agnes or whatever.
Yeah, she stood up too. She's like, I'm going too.
Yeah.
that was so cute. But
Yeah.
I totally forgot. So that was good. And since we're just keep with this flow of the conversation, I want to talk about Celie and Suge. Okay, some people, I was seeing people post online, the Saints. I'm sorry, y'all didn't really realize. Y'all probably thought it was a heavenly kiss at first, but then when they woke up in bed, I think it was clear, Saints. I think it was clear now. So let's deep dive into that. What y'all got about that?
Ooh, cracking up at that because it is, even though the original, it touches on it. I think because I think Renisha said this, somebody or Deshaun in regards to the time, because the original and when it was done, they couldn't probably really elaborate on there because it wasn't as prevalent as it is now, and it's everywhere now, that type of thing. But now, same sex and all the the LGBTQIA and all of that is prevalent. So I mean, they could expound more on it. Like, this is what it really was. They did have a relationship. It wasn't just we just had a friendly kiss, like Celia never had a kiss in her life, and she got a romantic kiss. But no, they actually went into detail for it to be like a, more romantic type relationship. So yeah, it was great. I just like that they expounded more. That's one thing that really, I just loved it.
I saw a lot of comments where people were saying, y'all must have never read the book. So I guess in the book, they go a little bit more in depth in that relationship.
Yep.
Because it's just like anything back in the days. You couldn't put anything on the screen, but you could put what you want in the book. Mm-hmm. And so the book did, get deeper into their relationship. And that was one of the main things that I noticed, and that I when I first started talking about it, I was like, well, I knew that they had a relationship because of the book. I said, but as a kid watching the movie, all I saw was the kiss, and that was the end of it. I'm sure there were adults who saw the same thing and knew that it meant more, but of course I didn't. So I think that you have to take in consideration that as well when you're discussing the book, and people have different views. And some people are like, well, why because as a 8, 9, 10-year-old child, you're not supposed to really know that. Where in our time now, you wouldn't be surprised if an 8, 9, 10-year-old knows that now, but back then, and you didn't know that. And so yeah, it was more of in your face. But I never saw the play, but they said the play was like that as well. It was more of a out topic in the play than it was in the original movie. And so that is a testament of the time. That is definitely a part of the movie where you can see the difference in time, whereas something was a secret back then, but it's something that's more out front and in your face. And they didn't miss that part. They definitely put it in there.
I agree. I think it's about the times. Jazz has a comment here too. Jazz, thank you for watching in with us. I love that they expounded upon the sexual liberation and the love between two Black women and did not leave it to interpretation. Yes, and I think it's all because of the time we're living in, right? So I think y'all have great points on that because, hey, bringing us to the forefront. I mean, the dance was hot. I mean, they were dancing. I'm like, okay, y'all dance, and then I'm like, okay, this dance is great. And then they woke up. I was like, whoa, okay, now. Yeah. So I thought it was good, and I did also like when Taraji Suge, when she did the one song. I can't even remember it now. I should have wrote it down. But she had one good song in there that was like, okay, I was like, I need a feather boa to be able to wear over my head. I was like, I need this outfit. So I thought it was good. Y'all have any other thoughts and comments about the casting?
Well, definitely like that when Suge was singing in the club, and the dancers was dancing, and that was, that was kind of sexual. That's not something that we saw in the first part. So I think that overall, as far as like the Taraji and Fantasia part of it, even though it was a main part in the movie, but it didn't spill over into other areas. So you didn't hear other people in the movie talk about it. You saw it, but you didn't hear, like, it wasn't a topic of conversation between Cilly and Mr. or Cilly and Sophia. So it still was a main topic, but it wasn't a, take over the whole movie topic sort of thing.
Yeah, because I think they gave enough so that way it's not like, okay, now we got to be talking about this. Jazz said, I did not like Taraji as Suge.
I agree.
Kai, you didn't like Taraji as Suge?
No, it was weird to me, and I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, she did an okay job with it, but maybe because who Taraji, I don't know. She just didn't do it for me. She's okay. She did okay, but she didn't wow me. That's what I'll say. She did okay. She just didn't wow me, and maybe it's because she can hold a tune, but she can't really sing. So it was okay to me where the empowerment and you just felt everybody else when they were singing and dancing and that type of thing. But yeah, but I really loved also how they had cameos of like David Allen, Tamala Mann and Louis Gossip and, Angeline Ellis Taylor, how you had these other really, really great actresses and actors in there, even though they didn't have a big part, they're known in the industry. And I loved how they brought them into The Color Purple as well. But yeah, Taraji, she was okay. And even Sierra's cameo was weird to me. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, what? But I mean, it was, like I said, it was small cameos. I was just like, this is different. But overall, I mean, it was still a good movie, but it just, yeah.
That was interesting. I didn't even think about that because it was like Suge was like the one singer in the movie, and they used Taraji to. I mean, okay, I heard her sing in the movie, so like she said, she can carry a tune, but you don't think of her as a singer. So when you have a role of a singer, and that was interesting, especially in a musical movie. You think that they would, use somebody else, but I mean, she did okay. She did do okay.
Yes, and I like how you brought up, Kai, about the cameos. I love seeing Whoopi delivering as the midwife.
Yes.
I said, y'all better stop it now. That was early on too. I was like, y'all got it. Y'all, this is good. Because I love seeing that. So that was beautiful. Let's see what Jazz said. She said she made a song was omitted from the movie, which was unfortunate because it was a key moment between her and her dad. So I guess there was a song omitted.
Remember when she was singing in the old one, I guess God is trying to tell you something, and she heard, and so she come across to the church, whereas in the new movie it's like she just come to the church at the end and there's nobody there, so you don't have that good feeling.
Yes.
Well, that's because didn't. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
That's because they didn't. You couldn't take the whole songs. That's why the original you only heard snippets of the original songs, because they couldn't really take every single thing. They weren't allowed to take every single thing and just do it, identical. So they only took snippets of that, because I would have loved her, to do a little bit more of that. But maybe because Taraji can't belt it out like that either, it would have been kind of mediocre, compared to Suge, because Suge was one in the movie that could sing her butt off. She sang, so maybe that was a little bit different. Maybe that's why they didn't do more of it, even though it could be a snippet. They just didn't do more of it.
Yes. What were you gonna say, Renisha? Were you saying something? You're on mute.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, that makes sense, because she do really like sing, because she is the singer. So I guess it was safe to probably leave that alone.
Jazz singing, Taraji can't sing, and that was weird. Like, get a singer, okay, with the a singer to sing this part. So that was Yeah. I mean, I even I'm gonna
Because
go out
remember
on
the original, even her daughter, remember, because in the original, how they brought it in, her daughter was singing the song in the church. And then
Mhm.
she came. So they didn't even have her daughter on there either. So yeah, that was.
Yes, 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 yes.
They are singing a song together on the soundtrack, though. It's
Mm.
not a-
Okay. Okay.
her
Okay.
and
Kai
it's,
said maybe Jennifer Hudson or somebody. Yeah.
yeah,
Alicia Good.
because
That
I'm thinking like if not Taraji, then who? But I think Jennifer would have did good. I think I liked her acting in the movie. I'm
yeah.
not a strong singer, but she did good to me.
Hmm. I agree. She did good. I mean, she did good. And again, it wasn't about her, right? Okay, because Sophia, come on.
I,
Yeah. Sophia carried it. I
Right,
ain't
because
even
we know who the main character was.
yeah, we know.
and I'm not saying Taraji not a star and all that, so don't come, with some crazy talk. I'm supporting all of them, okay? I'm just giving my opinion on this little particular part. All right, so as we conclude this conversation, this has been so good. I appreciate y'all for coming on here. If you're watching this, if you're watching the replay, comment, share along, share with somebody you love, talk about it, create the conversation, create the dialogue. Because I felt like it was just like we like Dream Girls, the same way we like the Five Heartbeats. This is that, okay? It's time to start watching it over and over again,
Over again.
getting the songs deep embedded in us and
Mhm.
enjoying it. So I want to go around and just get y'all's final thoughts and opinions, maybe something that you didn't share previously on here, and just talk about it.
I'll say that overall I did enjoy the movie, but one thing that I did like about the second one that they didn't have in the first one, and I think we covered it a little bit, is the second one left you with hope. It left you with all kind of hope. You saw that they reconnected at the end, because at the end when Nettie and the kids showed up and they were having that Easter dinner, they didn't shun Mister. He came with his pants. They embraced him, introduced him. He got to sit at the table, and you didn't get that. Like you said, at the first one, it was like nobody liked Mister for decades. Like Danny Glover, he was just like it was his character, but he was just like the worst for a long time. Whereas, to me, that is the one. It's not the only, but it is one shining star with the movie. Is it left you with a feel good feeling? There is forgiveness. There is forgiveness, and there is a second chance at getting things right, and so reconciliation. And so that's one good thing that I did get from the movie was you have that at the end, no matter how bad it was, matter how many issues they went through in the movie, at the end you saw that they came together in love. And so I like that part of the movie.
Yes, I was gonna say that to piggyback on Renisha, that's one thing I did love. The hope. And the first one left you, women get abused, they get taken advantage of, and they're just out there and they look like they're going through and things like that. But the new one, like Renisha said, gave you hope. It gave you power. It allowed you to see, even though we're going through this or people want gone through this, there's something on the other side. Celie just didn't waddle in what she was going through. She got herself together, opened up her shop, and soared. Sophia, when she was getting abused, she left. She packed up her stuff and said, deuces. You know, it allowed women to see you don't have to just sit here and waddle in this. You know what I'm saying? Pick yourself up and go do what you say you're going to do. There's greater on the other side. And then at the end where they came together, yes, the forgiveness part. We can all break bread and sit at the table and eat together, because I'm not going to harbor it. And that's how they prospered. It showed them prospering and getting what God had for them in there. And that's one thing I loved.
The forgiveness aspect was my favorite part of the whole movie. Like, well, really seeing her open up her store, and just really stand in that. I love that part, but the forgiveness aspect was my favorite, because so many times as parents, like, we do what we saw our parents do, and they did what they saw their parents do. But he was able to say, you know what, this wasn't right. Let me try to, I know I can't get all that time back, but let me try to make this right. And I feel like he did the best that he could do. Like, there's nothing else that he could have done, you know, like get her kids and her sister back. So that was my favorite part. I love forgiveness is so important to me. So that made me happy.
Amen. Amen. Let's see. Jazz says, I love that this movie didn't focus entirely on the plight of Black pain and the expectation that Black women deserve and should expect happiness. I echo everything that y'all are saying, because I kept seeing Fantasia say, oh, this movie is healing. This movie is healing. And I was like, is it healing? Is it healing? I felt the forgiveness. Like, all this happened. Forgiveness. I mean, because we could all say, oh, you know, turn the other cheek, do something else when it's not us. But when we were Sophia, right, and Harpo did this, you like, I'm not gonna do this. And then, you know what I mean? I just feel like it was more forgiveness than anything. I felt like, okay. And then I like how she said, you know, my favorite part, what you do to me is going to be done to you. And he remembered that. And I like that, because a lot of times, you know, as a woman, if somebody has said something to me maybe a year ago, and I'm like, ooh, that still sting. You know what I mean? So I love how they portrayed that. It came back to him like, you remember what happened. And so I thought it was good. Forgiveness was huge. And I think maybe this year, once everybody sees the movie and it starts filtering through, we're all going to have these big celebrations, even with our family, maybe start more forgiving. I think it opens that up, right? It opens up the conversation, at least, to say, you know, we're going to invite who to the table this year. Because I mean, I need everybody all white. We need to be holding hands, like the whole thing, right? That was it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you for this conversation. Anybody have any part and last words that they didn't say?
I did hear in an interview that the last scene was actually the first scene that they did. So that set the tone for the whole movie. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's good.
Wow, I didn't know that. So good. So good. Well, thank y'all so much. If you have not subscribed to the I Am Academy's YouTube page, make sure you do it. We're going to have more conversations like this throughout the year. If there's a conversation that you want to have that you think would be intriguing to the community, hit me up. Let me know. We love y'all. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.